Alright guys, welcome back to another video. The BlackBerry Keyone is one of my prized possessions of phones that I have. It turned out to be a phone that I didn't think I would like, but I actually do like it because I was indifferent about using Android software on the so-called BlackBerry brand. But this one has actually grown on me. Has that classic feel, but it's just running Android with a little bit more apps than I would get from my BlackBerry OS devices. So diving in here, let's take a look at the design of this phone and the hardware. So BlackBerry chose to do something different. They chose to be different from everyone else, meaning they got this different design here with the big camera bump and the nice separation of the dual tone LED flash. You got this very flat top on here with your headphone jack and a microphone for canceling up there. Then you flip it over to the bottom here. You got the speaker grill with the Type-C, and that's pretty much it. You got this soft touch matte feel and a little bit of texture with it with a big BlackBerry logo, which we all love. On this side, you've got the convenience key, and then you've got the volume rocker and a SIM tray, and on this side, you've got a power button. On the front, you do get a proximity sensor, a huge proximity sensor, microphone, and you got that big 8 megapixel camera up front, that big sensor they got up there. BlackBerry is just kind of doing it different with this phone. And then the iconic, obviously, BlackBerry keyboard. There we go. So the design of this phone is different, and different is good. We need something different than all the standards that every other OEM is doing, and I don't think BlackBerry gets enough credit for that, to be honest. But I think this phone is very, very different, and that is a good thing. The features of the phone has all the BlackBerry software that you would want. It's got the same setup as a BlackBerry OS device with all the notes and shortcuts on the keyboard. This is a touch-sensitive keyboard, just like the Passport. And you've just got BlackBerry's Detect security on here as well. Now, I didn't buy this phone for the security and all that. I just wanted to try it out because, again, I was so indifferent about having a BlackBerry with Android on it. I just didn't want to deal with it. But it is what it is. So the feature sets of this phone, you get all basically the BlackBerry suite, and you just get it in a better piece of hardware. And you get Android as the primary software, and that's not a bad thing, you know, that's just what it is. Now, a place where this phone really shines is the camera department. Now, the cameras on this phone take very good photos and video. The microphones on this phone, when using them for video, especially front-facing video, it is absolutely great. You will not need an external microphone with this. Now, the fact that they have a headphone jack, you could, in fact, put in an external mic if you wanted to, and I do have external microphones here that you could possibly use with this phone if you wanted to do some serious vlogging and you wanted to cancel wind noise and everything else. This phone could do it because you have that headphone jack up top to do so. You might need to get an extender because in the times that I've used it, with the wind jammer on there, it kind of covers up the fluff all gets in front of the camera there. So having the headphone jack here kind of, you know, I don't think they thought that through, or they even thought that someone even used it that way, but there's users out there for all different types of things. So the cameras on here, superb. I really like them. I'm told they're the first generation pixel cameras, and I think they kind of live up to that. It's actually a really good set of cameras on here. So a place where the phone, to me, doesn't shine as strong as it could because, you know, it has Android on here and it's got that BlackBerry bloat on here. And I call it bloat because in most cases, folks, to be honest, I don't even use most of this software right here. I have the Galaxy Note 8, and I use the Galaxy Note 8 the most for productivity stuff. So, you know, that's just what it is. But it is there for people who don't have multiple phones like some of us. So the software on here, Android portion of it, I think it kind of slows this phone down a little bit with the combination of the Android, the BlackBerry software, and then only having 3 gigs of RAM. And this has a Snapdragon 625, and I've got other phones that have Snapdragon 625s, but they still perform a little better than this phone. And I think it's just because of the software that's on here. That's the only thing that it could be. So it's not that this phone runs bad. It's just a little bit more sluggish than some of my other phones that have Snapdragon 625s in them. And I credit it to that. The BlackBerry bloat that's on here, the 3 gigs of RAM. Because there is a 4 gig of RAM version for this one. And, you know, if this phone had 4 gigs of RAM, I think it would help. I don't know if it would make it be that much better, but I think it would help in a sense. Overall, though, performance is not bad. You do get a 3,505 milliamp hour battery on here, and that is another place where this phone actually shines. The battery on this thing is actually great. You should be able to make it at least a full day with this phone with no problems. I just don't see a person killing this phone in one day. It is just a battery beast. It can really go the distance. And I've actually gone several days with this phone with mild use, which means I can go 3 days or so, and I'm getting about 3 hours of screen on time. And that's really good. The ultimate goal is that you don't want to plug in, and then when you use your phone, you want to be able to use it without worrying that you're going to run out of battery if you record some videos. And in that time of me going several days and getting about 3.5 hours screen on time, I did the normal things I do: social media, emails, videos, vlogs, or just a quick thing on YouTube or something like that, an upload or two. Yeah, it works just fine. So battery life on here is definitely great. So the end goal for this phone, though, is the price. And I feel like the price on here, while it does have a Snapdragon 625, while it does perform very well with those cameras and everything, the $550 price tag, I don't think I would want to pay that. Now, I paid a lot less for mine, but I think the top of the line price for this phone should be about $399 in my personal usage. Comparing it to other phones that have Snapdragon 625, they have the same internals pretty much, but they perform a little bit better. So, and that's totally subjective. That's up to you to decide what you think the price should be. But I think this phone is a great phone. But $550 is asking a little too much in my personal use because, again, I have a lot of phones, and some of the other ones perform better with less specs. I have phones that have 2 gigs of RAM, and granted they do have stock Android, but still, they have 2 gigs of RAM, and they're still running really smooth. So it's your man Jay Will, kind of a full review for you guys on the BlackBerry Keyone after using this thing for a little over 2 months. It's a keeper. I think the only way I would get rid of this is if I got a good offer on it, or it just sat too long. But it doesn't, because you can see there's a SIM card in there, and so I'm actually using this. And another thing I didn't cover really is cell phone service. So I've actually used this on Cricket/AT&T and primarily on T-Mobile, and I have no problems. LTE all the way, no drop calls or anything. SMS works. Just pop each SIM card in there, and that's what it is. The service is good on both of those carriers, so you have to decide which carrier you're using on. It is an unlocked phone, though, so I think it's going to work for you guys. So it's your man Jay Will. 2.5 months or so, this is a keeper. But like I said, if an offer comes in, I'm not posting this for sale, just to be clear. But if I was talking to someone, they say, "Oh man, you planning on getting rid of it?" I'd be like, "Well, how much?" Because I have so many phones, I could probably get this again if I wanted to, but I wouldn't want to pay $550. So end result is, this is a fantastic phone. Top of the line price is $400 for me, and I give this phone about an 8.5 or an 8 out of 10. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.